So the Bohr effect and Buteyko breathing is a classic example of how Western medicine can disregard something that already exists and is already proven. So the Bohr effect was established by Christian Bohr, was the father of Niels Bohr, who was a Nobel laureate physicist. And Christian Bohr proved that in order to distribute oxygen, we need carbon dioxide, because the bonds between oxygen and hemoglobin are very tight, and it requires carbon dioxide to split the bonds in our blood and to distribute oxygen to our tissues. That is called the Bohr effect. So we all know that the Bohr effect exists, and Buteyko breathing does exactly that. When we're practicing Buteyko breathing sets, we are building up carbon dioxide in our blood, which distributes the oxygen to all the tissues, including the liver, which requires oxygen to work optimally, to the brain, to the muscles, wherever it's needed in the body. And by breathing in more oxygen, we actually lose more oxygen, and that is called hyperventilation. Now, people can hyperventilate when they talk, people can hyperventilate in silence. Most people hyperventilate when they sleep. If you sleep on the back, at some point your tongue rolls back, you open the mouth, and there you are losing oxygen. So here's a wonderful thing. Buteyko was established by Professor Konstantin Buteyko, who had privileges in the communist regime. He actually didn't need the funding. He had access to anything and everything he wanted. He worked on 250,000 people, including the Russian cosmonauts, the very first one who went up to space. And he found that the sickest people breathe too much, which means they hyperventilate, they lose oxygen, so everything else trickles down from that. And the healthiest people can hold their breath without gasping for air for 2 minutes at least. He himself could hold his breath for 2 minutes. So if you want to know how healthy you are or how much oxygen you have at the moment, you can do this simple test. You inhale, you exhale, you pinch your nose, and you hold until air hunger. Now, I could have held on to at least 35 seconds, but you don't want to wait for me to do that. You can do that in your own time. So you stop holding your breath as soon as you feel air hunger, pressure. That basically lets you know how much oxygen you have right now. If your scores are anywhere below 25, that is a problem. That is serious health condition. And so what I see is that people are doing a lot of things, but they're not improving their oxygenation because they're hyperventilating in silence and they don't even know it. I've checked many people, including my Bikram buddies and many health practitioners I work with, and most of them can barely hold their breath for 35 seconds. There's only one person I've checked who could hold his breath comfortably for 60 seconds, and he's actually quite resilient. So the breathing is one of the foundations. If you're doing everything, but your oxygen scores or your oxygen level is not increasing, you're basically not going to improve. So if you would like to increase your oxygenation and improve your overall performance, especially if you have symptoms of asthma or you're using a CPAP machine or you're just not sleeping well, click the link with this video for more information.